So yesterday I turned 30. And I thought it would be a great idea to start the new decade and my new climbing channel by looking back at my 3 years of climbing and setting some new goals for the new year. So this was my first time being introduced to bouldering. I'm actually not pictured here, but my friend Jason, who's pictured on the right, he took me to Apex Bouldering in Japan while we were visiting. So it was funny because I guess the sense of accomplishment that you feel after working on a problem for so long is kind of what got me addicted to bouldering in the first place. During that night in particular, me and Gina just wouldn't quit on, one of the problems that we were trying to finish. And the next day, I think the funniest thing was, it was very hard to do anything with my arms. Everything was just in pain. I couldn't open a jar. I remember trying to spray deodorant that morning, and honestly, I couldn't press anything with my fingers. When I got back from Japan, this was the first day I actually officially, I'd say, got into bouldering as a sport. This is where I committed. I bought shoes, I bought a chalk bag, I signed up as a member. It was something that I was pretty confident knowing that I was going to continue on with. So this was my first attempt at trying to dyno. You can actually count how many times I failed. You can see the progress and the amount of pain and skin that this is causing. So dynos were like one of the moves that I really wanted to do when I first started. I'd seen a few videos of people dynoing, indoors, and if anything, I thought how awesome that looked, and I wanted to be able to do it in the future as well. So this was kind of my first attempt. Took me a heap of turns to go, and yeah, quite happy with how that turned out. And this is my 1 year reunion back to Apex climbing gym. Definitely not the hardest climb, that I finished that night, but it was fun seeing how much I'd improved from the very first time. Seeing what levels or what grades I could actually climb at. After my trip to Japan, I actually was heading into Korea because that's kind of what my plan was for that particular trip. Japan was just kind of a side stop on the way, and the reason I was doing that was to meet up with a friend, and this is the climbing gym that was only 5 minutes away from the hostel that we were staying at in Hongdae. And this climb I absolutely loved. Honestly, I say that this is the climb that this is the climb that I did that helped me make friends while I was there, because this is the climb that everyone was kind of trying to figure out. We tried doing it statically. Eventually I just started dynoing, which is kind of my forte, and that's kind of how I eventually made friends with a whole bunch of the guys, which you can see in this photo. We all went out drinking. I think that's actually the top thing that I love about climbing. That it's a social, it's a social sport. So you do make a lot of friends, and everyone generally is pretty friendly. So at the end of 2018 was the first time that we actually went outdoors to the Grampians. So this was actually really terrifying for me because it's a V0, but it's a highball V0. So no one actually wanted to climb this at first just because of how high it was. But had to set the example. So I took off my shirt. That's how, it's serious business. And yeah, eventually sent it, which I would have hoped that I would be able to. Since it is a V0, nice and juggy, all the way up. Honestly, still a really fun climb to do. I remember at the top though, you don't really have that many jugs, so I just kind of slid my body over, kind of scratched my chest and my stomach on the way up. But that's what I get for showing off with my shirt off. So this is my first V5 outdoors. So I did hear that this climb was a soft V5. Don't care, I'm gonna take it. So this is Obelisk in campgrounds. So this is my second V5 ever, Epsilon crack. It's very, very intense because this next move here, you just have to kind of pop up into a crimp. And if you don't land it right, you're just going to come off. I did actually fall right after I sent this one. And I ended up winding myself on the fall just because I thought I'd broken the climb and, I thought I could finish it again. Was not the case. Ended up slipping from that right crimp and just falling backwards, knocked all the air out of me. But absolutely stoked that I'm actually able to work V5s now and that I'm able to finish them. This year I want to break my personal best. A V5 is the highest I've ever climbed, so this year my overall goal is an outdoor V6. I've set my next project and now I just need to go out and send it one crimp, one jug, and one disgusting sleeper at a time. This channel is a chance for me to connect with the climbing community, both new and old, and make a few friends along the way. So clip in and let's send some rocks together.